Hello and welcome to Reginaldesq. I'm Underhook and this is Bots for the Win. And incidentally it turns out to be about lag as well, and you'll see why. So I read on the forums or saw on a video or something that bots may be getting introduced to Europe and America and possibly Russia servers as well. For tier 5s and below. Now, we've had bots in Australia server for 2 years at least, I think, maybe 3 years, something like that. Anyway, so I thought I'd make a video a bit about it. This game, you can see there's only 13 tanks per team because we don't have many players on at the moment, and 7 of the tanks on each team are bots. If you look at the tank lists on the top left and right, you can see the little tank symbols. That means it's a bot. And also, if you look at the names, apart from the names being very like first and last name sort of thing, which a lot of human players don't have, they also have a semicolon in front of their name. So you can tell if they're a bot with a semicolon. So if you just look at your own friendly tank, it'll have a semicolon in front of its name. Now, but I think enemy tanks, when you look at them, won't have the semicolon in front of their name if they're spotted sort of thing. So only friendlies will. So kind of you can't always tell unless you look at the team list. Okay, I'll take a breath. Now, in this game, you're also going to see some lag things. My internet speed, even though my ping is fantastic because the server's in the next state and it's pretty good, like right now it says 20, sometimes in this game it even says like 7 or something. Watch this, I'll line up on this Wolverine. I'm moving 15 meters behind the bush so I can't get spotted when I shoot. The shot looked pretty good and it bounced. Now that happens a lot due to lag because the shot doesn't hit where I'm aiming because the tank maybe moves and my game hasn't caught up with the server, and so I shoot thinking it's where it is and it's not really there, and so you hit some random corner of the tank or something. Now you probably think, oh yeah, you're putting everything down to lag and blah blah, but you'll have it'll be more evident in this game. But I have games where half my shots just miss or go through tanks or disappear. It can be as many as half my shots, which is why I play mainly artillery these days. So my upload speed is 150k, which is the main problem. And if people in my area, my suburbs, start watching Netflix and things like that, then it can almost stop. In fact, sometimes I can't even watch a 1080p video, it'll just chug. So yeah, anyway, that's mainly at night time. During the day it's not so bad. So that's just to explain the lag scenario that I'll talk about a bit later. So with bots here, you can see that Wolverine moving forward there is a bot. Now our KV1 is a human there, he's hiding behind the bush, but the bots, sometimes they'll hide behind bush, but a lot of time like that one there, they'll just sort of hang around and stop in the open. Sometimes they'll even drive around circles and do like really hopeless stuff. But other times they seem to be programmed. Like at the start of the game, they'll quickly drive up to a bush and then stop there. So they seem to have that programmed into them. And sometimes you can be on like the other side of a hill and you're sort of trying to hill fight, and 2 of them will just rush you over the hill and one of them will kill you. You maybe kill one of them, but human players probably wouldn't do it because they know one of them will die unless they're in a clan or something, whereas bots will sometimes just do that sort of behaviour, which is kind of clever. It seems clever. The other thing that bots do is they don't generally fully aim their shots, which means they miss a lot, but you can kind of get caught out. I know I've been caught out by it in the past where you think, oh, they've just turned at me, so I've got a couple of seconds, I should finish aiming before them and then I'll fire, and then they just go bang. Now, often those shots just miss, but sometimes they hit and you can get caught out. So, there's just a slither poking out behind this rock. This is a human plate, this M4A1. Even though I've got a red indicator with pen, so I'm assuming my shell went a little high and maybe went through the roof. Might have overmatched the roof. Although I don't know if this gun's big enough to overmatch. I think it's a 70mm or something, isn't it? I'm going to blind fire here. And we got him, because I think he had his turret turned side on there, and we just went straight through. So moving forward to this bush here, I don't know if I've been spotted or not. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I just recently repurchased this tank. and my crew is only 85% trained at the moment. So they've got no crew skills and only 85%. So if you see the tank performing really poorly, that's probably part of the reason why. I used to drive this tank a long time ago, and I haven't driven for ages, and I just bought it back. And I thought, oh, have I got a mark of excellence or anything? I thought, no, I haven't. And I thought, oh, okay. And then I realised that it was before they had marks of excellence when I was driving this, so it was quite a while ago. I also bought the AMX 12T back as well, and the same thing with that. It was pre-marks of excellence. So see how that Wolverine just drove out in front of me there? He was a bot. So you could argue a human, well, a good human player wouldn't have done that. Some human players would have done that. For example, that bot still beat our human KV-1 there, although if you look at our KV-1 where he's dead, he was fighting the Wolverine parked sideways in front of it. Yeah, so he obviously not an experienced human player and didn't turn his tank to face the enemy, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, I decided to go up top, and fortunately I was glad I did, because this A20 came racing down, and he would have, he's a human player, and he would have pummeled me in the back if I hadn't been facing the right way. So, he's missed a few shots, and I actually bounced one, and watch this. Yep. My gun was not pointing at him. So my gun that you just saw there was pointing well behind his tank was a miss, but we got a hit and blew him up. So when I was playing the game, my gun was pointing at the center of his tank. And, but replays show you what the server saw. They don't show you what you saw during the game. And I know that I was pointing at the center of his tank. And there must be some sort of lag compensation built into the program, and it's gone, yeah, okay, so on your screen you were pointing at the center of his tank and you were point blank, so we'll give it to you. But a lot of the time you can have point blank and just still miss. Like, I've had games where I've had my gun inserted in the other tank and it just misses. But I miss probably in mediums and lights and stuff, especially mediums, it's really terrible. I miss probably half my shots, even from really close range, just because the shells just disappear, or no shell comes out at all, or it's just, you see it hit the side of the tank and nothing happens. There's no bounce, there's nothing. So it's just how it is with 150k upload speed. Anyway, going up here to try and spot the enemy now. This tank seems really slow. When I used to drive it, I thought it was super fast because there were so few fast tanks in the game back then that this thing just seemed like a racing car. But now it seems kind of not that fast. It's okay downhill. I want a straight line. And that's a bot, and he shot us. It looked to me like it missed. I didn't aim for very long there. Snapshot missed, fair enough. So yeah, looking at his shell, it looked like it went off to the side and missed us, but it was a hit, so I don't know what that was. But now you'll see here, he's a bot, he makes a mistake. So he's in a good spot there, right, or semi-good behind the rock, but he decides to come out. Now, most human players wouldn't have done that. So bots do make a lot of sort of silly, they do a lot of silly things, but occasionally they do really good things. So anyway, the enemy team is capping, so I've decided just to wait for my binoculars to activate to see, and I can't see him. I fitted binoculars instead of optics because of my crew skills being down. I thought I'd better have binoculars so I can at least see when I stop. If you're a new player, by the way, it takes 3 seconds for binoculars to activate. You have to be stationary for 3 seconds, whereas coded optics you can't see as far, but they work while you're moving. Now, we're getting capped, and the only people left on my team is me and that OI experimental bot there. So I've got to get there as fast as I can. They still have 3 players, or 2 bots and a human player. Human player is in the VK. Heading towards cap, and now I don't know if I spotted him or whether our OI spotted him. They spotted the Wolverine and the VK here. I decide to move until I'm just covered by this bush, and I'm 15 meters behind, so he shouldn't see me shoot. And we get him and reset the cap, so that was good. He's disappeared now, and I'm waiting to reload, and he hits us. I've got a very long reload because of the crew skills. I decide to go in again and spot him, and then pull back 15 meters behind before I shoot again. Trying to lead as much as possible because with the lag I also generally get a delay with my shell firing. I move back because I'm worried about this guy blind firing me or shooting me again or whatever he did before. Lining up, if he's silly, he'll be in the same spot. And he's silly, still in the same spot. So who knows, a bot may have kept driving, but he stayed still. Anyway. Just me, my OI experimental, and enemy OI experimental. I'm driving through here at 53 kilometers an hour, hoping I don't get hit, trying to zigzag a little bit there. I know I will have a lot of trouble penning this thing frontally, so I want to try and get up here and see if I can get a side shot on it. I also don't want to be down there in case the Wolverine decides to come up and have a shot. Now, in a second, I'm going to stop the video to show you something. Which, so I go to here to get a side shot, right? So I'll just zoom in, and right there, see his gun is almost pointing at me. When I was playing the game, that gun was pointing at our OI experimental. So it was almost pointing at the front, out the front of the tank. On the replay, this is what the server saw, it was almost pointing at me. And you're watching pretty much... He waits about a second after the gun is pointing at me and then fires. So there's no way he fully aims. Now I'm aiming at the moment, and I figure because the gun's not pointing at me, I'll just keep aiming, and then just before his gun gets to me, I'll take my chance and fire, and then I'll back up. But I don't get the chance to do that because he just shoots me. Now our OI experimental kills him. But anyway, you got to watch for that. The thing is with bots, because they're on the server, there's no delay for them at all. So even on your screen, even if you've got good internet, if you see their gun pointing at you, they've actually probably been pointing at you for almost a second. Even if you don't have lag. So you've got to watch it. They shoot very quickly after they aim at you, and if you've got bad internet like me, there could well be the case that they're actually already pointing at you, but it doesn't look like they're pointing at you. So our bots on each team are fighting it out, and not unsurprisingly, our OI experimental wins and wins us the game. So there you have it, bots for the win. In case you're interested, that was a Class 2 game. I was pretty happy with that game considering my crew skills. And on this screen we can see our OI experimental did 1800 damage, 2 kills, 840 experience, got steel wall, high caliber, and defender medals. The top player on the other team was their bot, OI experimental, who got 5 kills and 900 and something damage. So there you have it. Bots for the win. They can sometimes be very good. And there's the final screen there in case you're interested. So this wasn't about my gameplay because it wasn't actually that good anyway. It was more really about bots, and it ended up being about lag as well. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more sort of stupid videos about World of Tanks and tank reviews, please subscribe to Reginaldesq and have fun.